What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Rubell Simon, just enjoying this slightly breezy DC weather down here in Navy Yard. It's crazy how this place has been developed. So much development going on. It's funny how the apartment building where I live in right now, they have a variant of that apartment building down here in Navy Yard, but just some craziness. Just taking a quick stroll, running some errands, and checked out the Rubell Museum. This is the companion video podcast for episode 25, 25, just really reflecting and looking back on the 24 episodes that I did and looking forward to 24, 50, 75, 100 more videos. But, really just shout out to all the artists in the Rubell Museum. As soon as you walk in, grand hall with El Anatsui, Vaughn Spann with his black rainbow piece. Um, and then you even have Christopher Myers with his textile piece. And then, of course, my personal favorite, Kahenda Wiley, with his piece, with Sleep, depicting, all of his work is always a depiction of European art or famous European or white figures. But even about the entire 4 floors of the Rubell Museum, it's just like, as I'm peeking over, so much art. Shout out to all the artists, man. Like Nina and Chanel Abney, Hank Willis Thomas, Jameer, want to say Richardson. Excuse me if I butchered that, but so many Oscar Murillo, so many artists. They've even got a Kara Walker up in there, and just all the imagery that's in there. And every time I go to a museum, I always got a love for art. You know what I'm saying? I always got a love for art, and that'll always be my favorite. My favorite type of thing is a Rubell Museum is up in the back, down in the back. But I always got a love for art. I gotta get back into my painting and doing what I got to do. But just down here in Navy Yard, just taking a stroll on this breezy morning. I also love how the Rubell Museum highlights and shows out their artists from artists in residence from their other location down in Miami. And just overall, just a good experience so far. It's free. If you're a DC resident, I highly encourage you to go down and check it out. Check out the Rubell Museum down in DC. And again, just episode 25, or the video companion to episode 25 on my podcast. 25, maybe that's what I'll call it. I'm recording this before I'm doing the podcast, which is crazy, but it's still a video companion. And now just reflecting over all the different episodes that I've done so far. No Strings with a Grand, No Strings about net worth. My very first podcast talking about how I got out of debt, what I did to get out of debt, all the trials and tribulations. The people that I've interviewed, shout out to Tay, Joe, shout out to my man, my boy Emery, and all the interviews I hope to do in the future. As I'm just walking through the city, doing something different, but really just shout out to all the people that I interviewed, and even on top of that, just all the data. I want to be able to help people and encourage people to get out of debt. Pay off their credit cards, pay off their student loans, do what they got to do to be debt free out in this space here, and really just being inspiration for people. One episode with the Popeye's chicken sandwich, episode about net worth, student loan forgiveness. Even back in 2022, almost a year ago, talking about inflation, how inflation was high and still is high marks of inflation, y'all, and just all the experience and guidance. I'm looking forward to the future episodes that I'm going to do as well. So, just trying to run through a quick list of them, but again, this is a companion podcast. I'm a burn through all of them and a brief tidbit about each one on my podcast episode 25. But again, just one thing I will say about artists and art in general is just like, don't be afraid to take a stand. The Rubell Museum has a nice layout, a lot of different artists with a lot of different perspectives. Shout out to the representation. They have a few bold pieces there, and they've also got some a lot of representation in terms of African American artists, but also a couple of Native American and Hispanic, a lot of minority artists, and so I definitely implore y'all to check out the Rubell Museum, and don't be afraid to create, whether it's a podcast or writing, or if you're an artist, don't be afraid to create. Um, be inspired to go out there and do what you do, or take on a new passion, or learn a new skill, or learn a new trade. So definitely, that's all I got for right now. Just a bunch of different random thoughts. Go ahead and finish my errands, and yeah, man, this is a companion piece, episode 25 of the podcast, and again, shout out to the Rubell Museum, all the artists that are in the Rubell Museum, and I got to get back to painting and keep on moving and shaking and podcasting, y'all. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the video. As always, follow me on the social platforms at TikTok at Rubell Simon, on Instagram at Kicks on Canvas Artistry, and I'm gonna catch y'all later.